Ho, 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 baby. Hello, everybody. Oh, how I've missed you. Been such a long couple of weeks. Going on, Brent, Hellbolt, I love you, man. Creeper, what is up? Oh, man. I'm well, buddy. I hope you're well. What's going on, Detroit? Woof. It's okay to have a drink. I won't tell anybody. Salute. Oh, yeah. Boy, how much has changed, how much I have to talk about. You guys are in for a treat. I'm gonna make this one of those videos where it's probably watched more than my other ones because there's a lot of things I got to talk about, a lot of things I got to tell you guys about, a lot of things that I'm looking at right now that are pretty amazing. You saw those old school wax boxes on DCD Collects. You mean the Instagram page, which everybody is now going to have to start following. Because a lot of the new information is no longer going to be coming from me. A lot of that new information is going to be seen first on DCD Collects Instagram page. Yeah, my mustache has taken on like full handlebar. It is beastly. So where to begin? I think it was Confucius that said, it's best to begin at the beginning. I have a new job. I have finished my first week at my new job. I work for I am a union. I am a union guy now. I am now in this. Well, I'm on my way to being in the Steelworkers Union. The new job that I started, I'm working on government contracts. I work on testing the pumps that go into new aircraft carriers and destroyers in the Navy. Those are made right here in Buffalo. Hey, Dangle! What's up, nerds? All right, there, the man himself, Dangle. Love you, buddy. Thank you. Um, yeah, man. So I'm gonna be in. I have to do my 60 days of work. I'm on my probationary period. Um, 5 of those down, so 55 working days, and I will be in the Steelworkers Union. So, as you can imagine, I'm pretty excited. Most of the financial concerns I had in the past are now completely in the past, thanks to this position. Very excited about it. Everything is. Who goes there? Hello. Hi. Ladies and gentlemen, Mel. What? Kiss. Oh, thank you. Thanks. She's giving me food. I mean, I'm obviously not going to eat it in front of you, but she's giving it to me. Love you too. Mwah. There you go. She's real.
Yes, I am.
Not a figment of my or anybody else's imagination. So yeah, pretty stoked. Let's move this camera. I don't like where this camera is. Let's do some moving here. See if I can get this to move. Merv. Let's go with the little pan. Little Peter Pan. Can't move it over too far. You'll see what's on my desk and you can't see that. All right, there we go. It's good. Oh, thanks, Detroit. I think so too. I'm gonna agree with you. She is beautiful. So yeah, so I will in 55 working days I'll be a member of the Steelworkers Union, which is a load off my shoulders. Um, Hourly speaking, hourly it's more money than I've ever made in my life. I've had other jobs where between hourly and bonus I will have made more money, but purely on an hourly scale, I've never made as much hourly as I do now. Oh, she definitely, Dangle, you got that right. She definitely settled. The trick is get a baby in him as fast as you can. Panda, hey, let's shout out to Panda. Thank you, buddy. Panda sent me a pretty dope rookie card. Buffalo Sabres, Dylan Cousins. What's up? So I appreciate that, man. That went right into the PC. Did not pass go. Did not collect $200. That's straight to the PC, man. So, yeah, it's pretty awesome. Also, shout out to Creepa. Creepa. James's birthday went very well. Creepa has sent for, and there's actually a few of you that are here. I want to say thank everybody for the gifts for James and for Mel and for myself. It's overwhelming how wonderful all of you treat me. And I thank you for it. And I'm very excited for the things that we're going to be doing in the future. But I never expected you guys to reach out to me personally and to Mel and even for James. And a lot of you have bought things for James, and I never ask for that, but I appreciate it. Thank you so much. So much. You are amazing. We were overwhelmed by the outpouring from you guys. And I'm excited to advocate on your behalf on some of the amazing things that we're going to be producing and getting into your hands. So each and every one of you that are here live and all of you who are going to be watching this and kind of seeing this video, and these videos only get viewed like 40 to 50 times. Not a ton of people get eyes on here, but you guys are really what keeps me going. You guys help me out more than you can imagine. And the fact that you're reaching out even beyond that is mind-blowing to me. But I can assure you some of the things that we have coming out are going to blow your mind. I have been given full green light to talk about the next thing that we're doing. Let me see if I can pull up my tentative title. Where's my sent box? There it is. My temporary title for the next thing that's coming out is the Batman Rogues Gallery Super Secret Live Art Break. I have been in contact with the last artist. The last 5 pieces I'm waiting for are going to be in the mail on Monday. Everything else is in-house. Which means probably before Christmas, we will knock out the Batman Rogues Gallery Super Secret Live Art Break. I appreciate it, Creepa. So how this is gonna work, I can finally talk all about it. You guys wanted a break, right? Well, we are going to get a little breaky. How this is going to flow. There's going to be 25 spots in this break. This break is entirely 100% art. No autographed cards, no pre-made cards. This is all art, and it is curated mostly, I'm going to tell you about 90% curated by myself, and put together to give you guys some of the most amazing value you're going to see. And let me tell you why. 25 spots. Now, there's more than 25 pieces of art. Some of these spots will have multiple original art pieces in them. These sizes are going to range from 4 by 6 all the way up to 12 by 12. And there's even an original art page, comic book page. I'm not going to tell you what comic book, but it's awesome. I have acquired the original page. I'm looking at it. You see me creeping all my eyes off on the screen? It's right there. It's right there. It's the one that's going to be hard for me to get rid of. That's the one that I'm probably going to give a bounty that if whoever gets it wants to immediately sell it for twice their buy-in, that's going to be the offer. This page is so great that I didn't want to actually give it to our company. I wanted to just keep it myself and be like, nope, that's mine. But it's so awesome, I have to include it. And then from there, I just have to convince whoever got it to sell it to me for double. Not from Batman Adventures 12. But what's going on? Jedi. Almost called you by your real name again. Yeah, so I have that. That's basically done. So there's lots of different sizes here. So there's going to be 25 spots. Some of those spots are going to receive multiple pieces of art because there are a couple of smaller sketch cards. Those smaller sketch cards are being paired with another piece. So in essence, one of these are going to have 3 original pieces of art. Some of them have 2, some of them have just 1. All of them are absolutely worth it because the 25 spots are only going to be $99.99 a piece. So let's pause a moment. Let's say $100. I just mentioned there was an original. How about this? I'll even sweeten the deal. It's a Detective Comics page. There is an original Detective Comics page in here. There is also a Hall of Fame comic book artist, Joe Rubinstein, piece in here. Oh. Did you say Rubinstein? I did. There are some very well-known artists in here. There are some up-and-coming artists in here. There are some people that I found at Comic-Con and went through their portfolio and said, hey, you guys are amazing. Can I get some of your pieces? And I went through their catalog and I picked out the pieces that I liked. Most of this will be sourced from Comic-Con 2021 in New York City by yours truly. Some of this actually comes from the DCD Collects archives. All of it has been curated into a wonderful break. It is just so good. So good. So good. I'm telling you. This is going to sell out very quickly. It is the least expensive break we've ever done at $100. We're basically giving away this stuff. Yeah. So, I was trying to think about what's the worst thing that you could possibly get, and it's it's not bad. It's I'm looking at going, I'd take that. I just can't show you. I promise. So it's a super secret break because I'm actually not going to release everything that is in there visually. The one and only time that all of these will be seen is when we actually do the break. No, Alex Ross. Yeah, no, these are so because these a lot of these are back catalog. They weren't specifically rendered. They are a curation of Batman and Rogues Gallery stuff that I was able to put together through um, digging through a lot of these artists' portfolios and putting this together for you. Yeah, trust me. Remember the last time I said trust me? And people had to scramble last minute for boxes because they realized when I say trust me, it's a really great deal. It's $100. That's it. And there are some knockout things going to be in here. Like, I, I feel like I should show you the Rubinstein. I'm going to. All right. Hall of Famer. And the reason I'm showing you this as a nice sneak peek, because this is actually going to be in the promo. There's going to be probably 5, 6, maybe 7, probably 10 or less. Hall of Fame comic book artist, Joe Rubinstein. Right there. Go ahead and look up Joe Rubinstein's work and tell me you wouldn't be happy to get this. What's going on, Angel? How you doing? So yeah, that's going to be one of the ones that's going to be featured in the photography. That's why and I believe I did show that one before. I think Creepa is right. I think I did pop that one up before. But some of these, the reason it's a super secret break is I am not going to be releasing everything that's in here. There's a lot of pieces that you will not see until the moment it's opened. Also, what's going on, handsome? How you doing? Oh, I'm great, man. I am great. I cannot complain. So yeah, go to if you want to see some more stuff that's upcoming, that's not related to this break, but other things that are headed your way. As you know, DCD Collects was just at the San Diego Comic-Con last week. Big presence with Lee Cozy. And Lee and DCD brought with them some of the items that are going to be in some of our upcoming breaks as far as box breaks. It was overwhelming, the response that they received, to the point where people were trying to buy out the items and didn't want to wait for the boxes. They wanted to just say, here's cash offers. Nope, not going to happen. So, go to DCD Collect's Instagram page. You need to follow them. They're going to have the information before I do. They are direct source. I mean, obviously they're going to tell me, but the stuff that they're posting is going to be faster than I can get on the microphone. So follow them. Take a look at the things that they've posted the last 48 to 72 hours. Saw one or two people drooling over that cabinet. Yeah, oh yeah, it's no joke. But you need to see what's in there. It's absolute bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. What is coming out and what is coming your way. Did anybody? Let's see if I can pull this up. Let's see if I can do this here. Da, 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 da. Ba, 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 ba. see. I'm looking for. All right, here we go. Did anybody see the 1977 Luke Skywalker? $55,000 it is up for. The reason is PSA 10. There are only, I believe, 9 in existence. That is all. 9 of them. Am I worried about New England? The Monday, we're supposed to have lake effect snow. Mac Jones just let the press know he's never seen snow before. I'm not worried. At all. Not this year. You've never seen snow before? You're going to come to Buffalo during lake effect? Oh, buddy. Gonna learn today. Their coaches, I listen, I'm a diehard Bills fan. I named my son Jim Kelly for Christ's sake. Bill Belichick is the greatest coach that ever lived. And I argue anybody. I will argue against anybody that Belichick is the best coach. They have to change the rules on a yearly basis because of Belichick. Not because he's a jerk. And I used to think it was because he was an a-hole. What's going on, Motley? It's not because he's an a-hole. It's because he tells the league that there's loopholes in the book and they don't do anything. So what he's been doing is he's been exploiting those rules and forcing them to close them. He's not being an a-hole. He's actually trying to bring structure to the league. And I'm not mad at that. Am I mad that he decimated my team for 20 years? Yeah, but it's the greatest coach alive. It shouldn't be the Lombardi Trophy. When this man dies, it should be the Belichick Award. So, yeah, right? Yeah, exactly. If you're going to leave it open after being warned, I'm going to use it. So, I mean, the guy is the smartest guy on the field, period. He is. He's the smartest guy in the period. If you have New England's defense in fantasy, you're still going to be fine because it means we're going to be running a lot. I will tell you, if you have Dawson Knox, get him off of your bench and put him starting. The safety that usually covers the tight ends is going to be out. So yeah, Dawson should have a good game if they can manage to throw the ball. Aside from that, I mean, New England's defense, it should be a low-scoring affair due to the fact that it's going to be heavy snow. I don't expect either team to put up 40 points. So you're safe in that aspect. But yeah, it's gonna be a good game. It's gonna be a snowy one. I'm not gonna be able to watch all of it because I work 7 a.m. To 3:30 for the next month and a half. So I can't stay up until midnight because I have to wake up at 6 a.m. So I'll probably get the first half of the game in. Also, I will be going live Fridays and Saturdays starting next week until my shift changes. It should be about a month or two before I go 3:30 to midnight. Once I go 3:30 to midnight, that means Saturdays are going to be my only live days. So just keep that in mind. You're going to be spoiled for the next month or two, and then it's going to be only one day a week. I am planning, if everything it comes back as copacetic as it's supposed to, on having the Batman Rogues Gallery break in about 2 weeks. I want to do it right before Christmas, ideally. Um, yeah. So there's that. Yeah, I actually just traded for Gibson in my dynasty. My dynasty running back room is stupid, and I mean that in the best possible way. I know nobody likes to hear what other people's dynasty teams have in it, but since you're a captive audience, my running back room, and this is a 12-team league, by the way. Dalvin Cook, Antonio Gibson, DeAndre Swift, Javonte Williams, and then I have Kenny Nwangwu from the Vikings as a backup, and Tyson Williams from Baltimore as a backup. Yeah, they do have Tampa soon. I think Tampa's going to wipe the floor with the Bills. I don't think the Bills have a chance against Tampa. I'm just being right out there. What did I think of Ghostbusters Afterlife? All right, I'm glad you asked because I've been waiting to vent on this one. I read a couple of reviews that panned it, that tore it apart, and that gave it negative reviews and gave it 2 stars out of 5 and complained about everything but the acting. Although one of them complained about the sexiest man alive, and I stopped reading at that point. Um, I'm not gonna spoil anything here. It's a fantastic movie. It really is. Um, People panned it for banking on nostalgia, but it really doesn't. It is a proper continuation of the stories that had to do with 1 and 2. Again, I'm not going to spoil anything. I will say there was a part at the end that I think went a little too long. But the acting was top notch. Everybody in there put out great performances. If they are going to move forward and do a couple more movies in the franchise, I would definitely be interested in seeing how it goes. From a movie making standpoint, it was well done. It was well made. The visual effects were as good as the practical effects. And believe it or not, there were a lot of practical effects that they used because I did see a making of mini movie. McKenna Grace is a massive star already, in my opinion. But I agree. Everybody was great. Everybody was great. For people who said that Paul Rudd was too subdued, no, I think Paul Rudd played a great chef. What's going on, Chef Tasheki? But yeah, we took James to see it. This is the first movie James did not fall asleep during. He actually watched the whole thing and he loved it. I thought it was fantastic. I really did. I will own it as soon as the deluxe edition comes on Blu-ray. I will probably watch it 4 or 5 more times. It was good. It was very good. The subtle Easter eggs were great. The not so subtle throwbacks were great. Was a little piece at the end that I thought went a bit too long, but I respect it. I respect the decision that was made by Reitman, filling in for his dad. Now on to Spidey, Creepa says. Creepa, what do you want to know? Detroit, here's what I'll tell you. There are cameos, but you don't expect all of the cameos. Get it, Ice Wolf. He could get Gretzky's goals. He could definitely get Gretzky's goals. I said that a year and a half ago at that other place. I can't wait for the Kings, man. I don't know about the Matrix. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I'm a fan of the Matrix series. The Matrix came out when I was in the Navy, and that was one of the few movies that we got when it was in theater. So in the Navy, a lot of times. Oh, handsome. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Handsome handing out some subs. Appreciate it. Thank you. So in the Navy, and I think the other services too, but I can't speak for them. We often will get movies that are in theaters, copies of them to play on the ship, since we're out to sea and don't get, and only when we're out to sea, not when we're in land. But we will get copies of movies when we're underway so that we can watch movies that are in theaters. And when we were out in 99, 2000 is when The Matrix came out. So we got The Matrix when it was in theaters. And the original Matrix, I can tell you, at one point in my life, I knew every single word of every single line of every single character in that script. So I loved it. It was great. It was phenomenal. It was mind blowing how good it was. Yes, I do. God, it's terrible, Creepa. I go through Regal. The nicest theater by us is a Regal. They have the reclining, big, comfy seats. So I go through the Regal app. That's not a paid endorsement. That's just really what I do. And they have rewards, and the rewards are pretty good. You get free drinks and free popcorn, and occasional upgrades for free just for buying tickets. So we go to Regal, and the Regal one is fast. Like you can literally buy them standing outside, and a QR code pops up into your hand that moment. Even for stuff that's just releasing, because I bought the tickets when Ghostbusters released, and it was like boom, done. Yeah, the original is absolutely a classic. But with that said, I don't know much about this one that's coming out, and I try to keep it that way. I don't like to know everything about movies before they're out. I don't know where they're going with this movie. I'm assuming based on the commercial or the trailer. God, this is getting ridiculous, by the way. Look at this. Woo-hoo-hoo. That Neo's out of the Matrix, and from the ending of 3, it's not a spoiler alert because it was how many years ago. From the ending of 3, he was pulled out of basically of the Matrix. And this is him kind of flopping around. Well, he's not pulled out of the Matrix. He's goes back to the ignorant bliss life of the Matrix. I think this is going to be interesting. I don't know if it's on my top list of things to see. I am going to see The King's Man probably before any of that. I will see Spider-Man before any of that. Oh, by the way, how about the Sinister Six being in this Spider-Man? That's going to be interesting. I thought that was cool, how they were doing it. What else is there? All right, let me change this real quick. All right, looks good. All right, there we go. But yeah. The Doctor Strange movie is really going to be mind bending. Because they really are diving into the multiverse hardcore. It started with Loki. They're really getting into it with Loki. And Loki was basically the vehicle to tell how it works. Um, Thor, Love and Thunder, is also going to have to deal with some of this stuff too. But everything will be touched by the multiverse. If you were watching the animated What If series, the What If series dealt with the multiverse and what could happen and the Watcher. That is an important thing to want to watch. I do think they are going to be doing callbacks to the What If scenarios as well in the movies. They should. I mean, Cumberbatch is honestly, and this is non-biased, Benedict Cumberbatch is one of the best actors of our generation. The man is phenomenal. Um, Anything that he's ever done has been good. You could go through Cumberbatch's entire library, and there's really not a bad movie in it that he was bad in, at least. The man is phenomenal. He's on my list. Excuse me. I usually go to bed about this time since I wake up at 6 a.m., so bear with me. The next 20 minutes are going to be long for me. He's on my list of people that I want to acquire stuff from as far as collecting, because he's fantastic. The Watchmen, or not the Watchmen. The Kingsman. The Kingsman, I am stoked for. I liked the first one. The second one was. But the origin story I think is going to be phenomenal, because the origin story is not going to be as fantastical as the second one. The second Kingsman, to me, felt almost like an Austin Powers movie. Whereas the first Kingsman, even though it had that Austin Powers-esque bad guy in it, you could still follow it and be like, okay. The second one got crazy. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the second one, what the hell are you doing? You shouldn't even be in this conversation. When they start like bringing people back from getting shot in the head through that stupid little bubble mask thing that they have, that lost me. I was like, well, hell. Great. But yeah, it's the origin one of the, and Ralph Fiennes. I believe Ralph is the guy in this one. I think he's a great actor. He's fantastic too. Didn't see the Eternals. I didn't either. I heard it was very polarizing, which actually is going to make me want to watch it more. But it's just I've had so much to do in so little time. So now that I'm working 7 to 3:30 in a factory, and yeah, I'm not gonna say it's an easy job. It's not. It's a tough job. I'm pretty wiped out by the time I get home. And I have to be in bed by like between 9 and 10 because I have to get up at 6 a.m. And as you can imagine, I'm working. I'm in the steelworkers union. I'm working with big machinery, like stuff that let's just say there's quite a few people I've met in the factory that don't have the ends of their fingers. This stuff that I'm working on will take off a finger before you even realize it. So I need to have my wits about me, which is why I go to bed early. You can't get tired doing my job. Now I'm not saying it's not a safe work environment. I'm working with, I'm moving 2,000-pound pump and motor units with a sky crane, and finagling them into between pipes, and these are 8 to 10 inch diameter pipes. with very little clearance, so you got to finagle it. And one small finagling, and you lose a finger. So, needless to say, I'm not staying up late to do movies. We did for it was James's birthday, as some of you know. 2 days ago was Mel's birthday, by the way. Her birthday was the 2nd. So for those who are taking notes, Mel's birthday is December 2nd. So we went and saw the movies basically for a combination of those two. But it was an early, like we saw like a 3 o'clock show because I can't stay up to 10. So because of that, as my good friend Trevor says, to make a long story longer, I didn't get to see the Eternals. There's a few things that it's like I can wait. The Eternals, I can wait. I get that parts of the Eternals explain away some of the happenings for like the snap and so on. Um, from what I heard, but I'm okay to wait right now. I'm not in a hurry to see that. I could probably see that at home. I could probably wait till that comes to Disney Plus and not be mad. Kingsman, I probably have to see in theaters. Um, Spider-Man, I have to see in theaters, I think. What else? Oh, nice, Brent. Handsome. So, yes and no. So am I doing breaks? So, if you are, if you have time, you'll have to go to our website, dcdcollects.com. And it'll give you an idea of what we've been doing. The breaks that I'm doing now are stuff that I and my partners are creating. It mostly deals with original art. For instance, the next one coming up, the Batman one and Rogues Gallery, is 100% original art, curated from the artists themselves. So I do breaks in that way. Cards, not so much anymore. Every once in a while, I'll get my hands on some, but not very often. Oh, I imagine Creepa. Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of that happening. A lot of these movies that are epics are going to be going to have two cuts, and I think it's the way it should be. One cut for the theaters and one cut for the fans. Also, you get to sell two movies that way. It's a win-win for the studio houses. Speaking of studio, who has been watching Get Back Sessions, the Beatles documentary by Peter Jackson? I had no idea Peter Jackson was the director until after the second episode. I got through the first two. I'm halfway through the third. And in my teens and 20s, was more than a casual fan of the Beatles. Um, I moved away from adamantly listening to them every day like I did in my teens. My teens, I listened to almost nothing but the Beatles. Uh, Not many people know I'm a huge Beatles fan. And I was always a John fan. And after watching this documentary, I think I'm more of a Paul fan. Um, and I was never a huge fan of Paul McCartney. But wow, the man's work ethic. I hate Yoko Ono more than I've ever had in my life. And her presence bothered me. Really bothered me. And then I found out that John was on heroin. Um, yeah, it's not for sale yet. It's getting there, chef. And you'll see one there's going to be something listed very soon. That's all I'm going to tell you. Believe me, there is something going to be listed very soon. Keep that website on reload. Um, But apparently John was on heroin during those sessions, and the reason Yoko was around is because John was so codependent. He had to have her around because his heroin addiction was in full swing, and she was more or less taking care of him. And they actually talk about it very briefly. They talk about John's heroin addiction, which I really didn't know much about. But to see the final working days of the Beatles in a way that Peter Jackson has presented it is amazing. It's mind-blowing. Really, to see them work through one of my favorite Beatles songs is Let It Be. It's, I think, a perfect song. And to see them work through Let It Be and create Let It Be. No, absolutely. I agree. Yoko did speed up the process of them breaking up. It was a powder keg. What I didn't know is the first person to quit the band was Ringo. That was shocking that Ringo quit the band months before the Get Back sessions. For those who haven't seen it, I'm going to talk about it right now. You might want to watch it before you watch the rest of this video. Here is your fair spoilers warning. Even though we all know what happened to the Beatles, I'm going to get into what the documentary says right now. So either pause this and go watch it, or get spoiled. I warned you. But to actually have the footage of George walking away and leaving and quitting, albeit briefly, and then they say, has this ever happened before? And them say, yeah, once with Ringo. I was like, Ringo left the band? Ringo? Okay. I have a new respect for Ringo too. That man was just so easygoing. Just total, like, great weed. Real good weed. Because that dude was just like keyed in and ready to go. Whatever happened, happened. Looked boordish. Oh, yeah. Ha ha. Ha ha. I almost swore. Looked bored as hell. Oh, he almost got me. But he was, yeah, he muscled through it. But the George was a surprise. Now, I knew George was always the experimental one. He really was a powerhouse sonically for them. Paul lyrically. John, at that point in their career, John was there. He was getting the credits for writing, but he was not writing to the degree that John, even Ringo, Ringo, Octopus's Garden. The way Paul was hammering out songs, the way George was trying to contribute, which ultimately led to his frustration because not enough of his stuff was getting through. It was brilliant. And then there was just John catching a nod. I was unimpressed. I've actually become a non-John fan. I really don't. I'm sure early he was more contributing, but after watching this, I'm pretty down on John. But this Yoko Ono's face makes me angry. Her presence in the documentary gave me acid reflux. To hear her voice when she, I don't know what the F they call it, screams, cackles, bleats. I don't know whatever noises she makes. It's painful. I would want to say she's a talentless hack, but apparently she was a big deal in the beatnik and beat poetry circle, which is where they met. Anyone else grow up with the Beatles episode of Powerpuff Girls? No. I am a bona fide Mojo Jojo fan, though. Brian Epstein would have kept them together. And you're right, his death tore them apart because they argued who was going to go over and manage their financials and manage them as a group, and they couldn't come to agreement on it. And the person they ultimately agreed on kind of screwed him. I think it was Paul's guy that screwed him. Don't quote me on that, no. Brian was a young guy when he died, in comparison. You got to remember, the oldest Beatle when they broke up, I think, was 28 years old. The Beatles were only really in America for 6 total years. Everything they did as a band was about 10 years worth of work. 6 years in the U.S., give or take 6 months. And those were young guys. They were still very young when they broke up. This iconic band were still in their mid-20s when it was over. They started when they were 14 years old in some cases. I think Paul was 14 when he joined the Quarrymen. So you're spending, from ages 14 to 25 as part of a band, granted, and let's call a spade, one of the biggest bands in the history of the world. They were. Stylistically and sonically, there's a lot of bands that owe their sound and style still to this day to the Beatles. And they'll tell you that they did. It's not my biased opinion. It's just a simple fact. Love them or hate them, they contributed to a lot of sonic movements in the U.S. and abroad. You can't deny it. It's a fact. I never understood the importance of the album Rubber Soul. Moko Jonah. Oh, no. Meet the Beatles. All right. Angel, I'm going to watch that. I'm going to find that on YouTube. And I'm going to watch it because that sounds great. Moko Jonah. That's great. But yeah, I just... She angers me. It's just, every time she come on screen, I'd yell at the screen. And my wife's like, they can't hear you. And that was 50 years ago. And it's like, I know, but I feel better. Sometimes it's all that matters. I feel better doing it. But yeah, they were dysfunctional. But again, you were somebody that long that you're not married to or related to, you're going to get dysfunctional. But I digress. Handsome's like, the hate you have in her heart for her, man. Wow. I got nothing good to say about her. The impression that I get is she's not even a good mom. The way she would, force ideals on her kid. And, forcing her kid to do stupid stuff just because he was John's kid. It was just angering. Oh. I'm getting, I get the bile in my throat now just thinking about her. I'm not a fan. Not a fan. Part of the thing is, so one of the rules, and Brian Epstein was one of the guys that really made this rule, is no spouses. No spouses and friends in recording. That was always and the reason they would get so much work down and could pump out those albums so quickly is because there were no distractions allowed in the studios. And then here you have John slinking Yoko with him everywhere he goes because his heroin addiction is so freaking terrible that he needs a keeper, and that turd sandwich is his keeper. So then George is like, well, if Yoko can go, then I'm bringing some of my Hare Krishnas. So he would have the Hare Krishnas with him praying in the corner while he recorded. And then, then Paul's like, well, I'm bringing my wife and my daughter. And you see them not getting stuff done because Yoko's making... Why? First, are you sitting in front of a microphone when you're not in the band? And while in front of that microphone, why are you rustling paper? I can hear the paper. It bothers me. It is. I hear the recording, and you can hear her paper. She's just reading the newspaper next to a microphone in a recording session. You don't read a paper in the recording session. That's like Mel walking in here and sitting next to me and just gargling salt water. Or James coming in here and just farting loudly while I'm trying to make a show. You don't do it. You don't do it. You don't do it. When the red light comes on, quiet. Are you trying to say your wife will not take a seat next to me on the channel? She could. Because she actually contributes something. Yoko brings nothing to the table. What did she bring to the table? The sound of somebody slowly torturing a cat to death. That's what she brought to the studio. I don't know why she chose to make the noises she made, but they were painful. If I sit, so I have. It's called Get Back. It's on Disney Plus. So my studio, as you can see, I am surrounded. All three out of my 4 walls are this mixture of medium and high density acoustic foam covering my door. I could probably show you. That is a weighted moving blanket. Mel. See, Mel brings something to the table. She's funny. So it's quiet in here. Like, if I sit still, I'm not going to say I can like hear the blood going through my veins. I can't. But I can almost hear my heartbeat. It's very quiet in here. And if I sit here silently, excuse me, and I don't move, I can hear Yoko Ono. And little by little, a piece of my soul dies. So, yeah. It's not flammable? It is. It's flammable. My house is flammable. My house is stucco and wood, so I'm not worried about it. Oh God, Mel, there's more than one occasion where I've had to mute the mic so I can crack one off. I used to do it at my other place all the time. You guys would wonder why the sound would cut out. No, it was strategic. I was farting. I'm not even going to deny it. I was just glad you guys didn't have smell-o-vision. I'd have no following whatsoever. Flammable foam is only dangerous if it catches on fire. There's no fire allowed in here. It's not, I don't think it's the flame retardant stuff. I know this, I have 3 kinds in here. I know the one that's in the isolation booth. That's flame retardant. That's the thicker stuff. This lighter stuff, I don't think it is. All right, Creepa, exactly. It's non-toxic. I know it's this is not this stuff isn't the one that smells bad. There's some acoustic foam that when you get it out of the box, it smells terrible. This stuff was not the smelly kind. Which actually, I think because it's not the smelly kind, the stuff that smell, and people who are in sound or in radio or have worked with this stuff know what I'm talking about. There's stuff that like really stinks. This stuff didn't. So I think this might be the flame retardant because I know the one that smells terrible, that stuff is highly flammable. And this was not the stuff that smelled bad. I think I have a spare piece. There we go. Yeah. I'm more worried about my shag carpeting. Yeah, no, this doesn't smell. This isn't the chemical smelly stuff. This is the good stuff. Doesn't smell like anything. Actually, it smells like a hospital pillow. I know like 80% of you have been to the hospital. You know how they give you those foam pillows? If you're not staying long, they give you those crappy little thin foam pillows. You only get the nice pillows if you're spending the night or after major surgery. But you know how those pillows smell when you first lay your head on them, like that foam smell? That's what this smells like. So, well, that didn't work. So if it smells like that, I'm going to assume it's similar foam, and I'm willing to wager that hospitals have to use flame retardant foam. So I'm going to say it's flame retardant. So yeah. But no, get back. You got to watch it. It's if you're a diehard Beatles fan, it's a must. If you're a diehard Beatles fan, you've already seen it. If you're a casual Beatles fan, it might be a bit much for you because it's long. It's 3 hour and 40-minute episodes. Um, but you get to see the Beatles break up. In essence, you also get to see their last ever live performance as a group, and the behind the scenes to that as well. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, the station nightclub fire was because the exits weren't good, and they were using pyrotechnics in a non-vented area. So there's a big difference. I have easy exits. 1 foot to my right. No, 3 feet to my right. But I digress. As a matter of fact, I need to use that exit because it's a 10:15 Eastern Standard Time, and I have to stay on somewhat of a schedule. But we're gonna talk again on Friday. So me, you, and everybody watching Friday. Uh, it's that's right, Angel. It ain't a Peter Jackson production. If you don't need to carve out a time slot to dedicate yourself to watching it, that's absolutely true. But no, he did really well. He isn't manipulating the film. He's telling the story the way it's supposed to be told, and I think that's the important part. Um, so the only thing I did think was funny is in episode 3, about an hour in, Yoko is with her mouth making the sound of skinning a live cat. And Paul McCartney's daughter looks at her like, and I think it's hilarious because her face is like, she's scared, and she should be. Um, but I digress. All right, folks. I love each and every one of you. Still do. Still do. My love for you burns as hot as my hatred for Yoko Ono. Um, so I do. I love each and every one of you. Thank you so much for spending some time with me. I know it's been a very long time since we've been able to get together, and I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad everyone who's watching is watching. Um, yeah. Oh my God, there should be a meme about that. I love you too, Bolt. Thank you so much. Please, everybody, take care of yourselves and each other. Not anyone else is going to do it, so do it for yourself. What's up, Toad? Um, and we are going to talk again on Friday. Hopefully, I will be able to announce a date for the Batman Rogues Gallery Super Secret Mystery Art Break. And that would be cool. So if you are not following DCD Collects on Instagram, you have to. You have to at this point. Stuff is going to start moving really fast. There's a lot going to happen. But again, I love you all. Thank you so much for spending your evening with me, and I will see you in 6 days. Go Bills.